Welcome to Lemoore City Council Chambers located at 429 C Street. This is the August 19th meeting. Please silence all electronic devices as a courtesy to those in attendance. Thank you. If you could please stand for the invocation given by Pastor Ash from Lifeway Church and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us all bow our heads and close our eyes for a moment of reverence to the Lord. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening asking for your blessings and your favor, Lord. We pray, Father, for your wisdom, for your discernment, Father, as to what is supposed to happen, what decisions should be made, and what is best for all your people in accordance with your will. Lord, we pray for that tonight, and I pray for a blessing upon this council and this mayor and all within the city, Father. And we pray these things in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, and all God's people said, Amen. Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir.
Councilmember Brewster.
Here.
Councilmember Lyons.
Here.
Councilmember Cruz.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Gornick.
Here.
And Mayor Matthews.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda approval, additions and/or deletions.
I would just like to point out that there is a special meeting agenda that'll run concurrent. It has two consent calendar items on it, so they're labeled 416 and 417.
Thank you. This time we're going to go ahead and go into closed session. We have item 1, Government Code Section 54957.6, conference with labor negotiator, agency designated representatives, Christina D. Smith, City Attorney, and Marissa Trejo, City Manager, Employee Organizations, Lemoore Police Officers Association, Lemoore Police Sergeants Unit, and unrepresented. Item 2, Government Code Section 54957, Public Employee Performance Evaluation, City Manager. Item number 3, Government Code Section 54956.9, Conference with Legal Counsel, Anticipated Litigation, Significant Exposure to Litigation pursuant to paragraph 2 or 3 of subdivision D of Section 54956.9, one case. So we'll go ahead and adjourn into closed session.
No.
Okay. We'll go ahead and move on to ceremonial presentation. Item 1-1, Employee of the Month, August 2025. Mr. Benavides.
All righty, good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming out, allowing me to present the award for Employee of the Month. This month, we'd like to recognize Richard, affectionately known as Goose by everybody on the team. He's been with the city for 17 years. He's been nominated because of his dedication, his willingness to help, a willingness to jump in all over the place and just be a good resource for everybody on the team. He was nominated by his supervisor, Chris, who's recognized, how helpful and how great he is to the team and what a great addition he is to the city. So at this time, I'd like to call Richard up. Yeah.
Would you like to make a speech?
First of all, thank you to the council members and the city manager. Without you, I would not be standing up here today. Thank you for voting yes to keep us around. Yeah, without you guys, there would be no refuse department, and that's where we are. Hopefully, you guys are happy with your decision. Second, the refuse department and my family. Without them, I wouldn't be standing here today because there's a lot of things that at times I feel I can't do, and they're there to support me and have supported me. So thank you guys. This is for the you. Oh.
You stand up here or down there? We can get everybody to stand up here. Stand up here, guys. Stand up here. Be behind him.
Stand behind.
Yeah, we're gonna try it. See how this study goes.
One friend on that.
I guess everyone.
Don't one.
Look at that. See, that's not very good enough.
But why isn't the city manager in this picture?
Yeah, Marissa, get over there.
1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Congratulations. Now we'll go ahead and go on to the study session items, 2-1. Kings County Regional Active Transportation Plan. Teresa's here.
Good evening, Mayor Matthews, council members, and City Manager Trejo. I'm Teresa Nickel, Regional Planner with Kings County Association of Governments, KCAG. I'm here with our consultant team, Mark Thomas, to present the draft Regional Active Transportation Plan, which is a plan for pedestrian and bicycling networks and facilities, infrastructure, and so forth on a regional level. But we have included Lemoore and Avenal and the county in our public outreach process. And since Corcoran and the city of Hanford have already completed their recent active transportation plans, we incorporated their networks into this plan. So we mostly worked with these three entities for the completion of this plan. So our request is for the council to receive this presentation and to provide feedback on the proposed plan. The public review period has already started, so it actually ends August 27th, next Wednesday, when our Transportation Policy Committee meets. So if you have any comments on the draft, which is available online at kingscog.org, or if did we provide you with a copy of the full plan? The city can provide you if you have any questions or comments. Feel free to provide those to us. This plan also includes a complete streets policy in, I think it's Appendix 1A. That's a regional draft. And so we are actually creating a separate template draft for the jurisdictions to utilize if they want to create their own complete streets policy in the future. Doing so will help with securing grant funding, federal funding for your transportation, active transportation projects. So that is a critical thing to do and trying to reach a zero vision plan for reducing serious injuries and accidents on the roadway. So with that, I would like to introduce Mark Thomas. We have Project Manager Amber Collins and Deputy Project Manager Lynette Guzman from Mark Thomas to present a PowerPoint to you. And at the end, we'll be happy to answer any questions you have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa, for the introductions. I was trying to share my screen, but if I'm not allowed, that's totally okay. I'm just not sure if somebody can just, when I say next slide, go ahead and click for me as I go through the presentation.
Yes.
Okay, great. So good evening, council members. I'm excited to go ahead and provide a presentation of the project. If you can go on to the next slide, it has some introductions with Teresa just made, so we can skip on to the following slide, which is a project overview. And what I really want to highlight were some of the key strategic objectives as part of the plan. The 2025 Regional Active Transportation Plan, RATP, will reflect the current priorities and align with local active transportation plans. It'll support the goals identified in the 2022 Regional Transportation Plan, and it'll better position Lemoore to compete for grant funding. Next slide, please. As Teresa mentioned, the part of the plan, a complete streets policy template has been developed for adoption by the city. The policy does include a Vision Zero commitment, and adoption of this policy will make it the proposed projects of this plan more competitive to pursue grant funding, including the SS4A grants. Next slide, please. As shown on the screen, the project schedule, we began the project development process back in spring 2024. We've led community engagement efforts throughout the duration of the project so that the community has been involved with shaping and refining all the project recommendations. And we're now toward the end of the project with adoption planned for late summer. Next slide, please. What's shown on the screen includes an overview of all the events that we've done throughout the duration of the project across the county. But I did want to highlight the events we held in Lemoore. So phase 1 outreach efforts focused on compiling a community needs assessment. We held a tabling event last August 2024 at the Lemoore Rec Center to gather input on residents' needs and preferences for infrastructure improvements. For phase 2, we focused on gathering input on project priorities based off of the results from our project prioritization analysis. So we held a tabling event this past May, again, going back to the Lemoore Recreation Center. And for both events, we did promotion by posting flyers at the rec center and distributing a digital flyer to key stakeholders to help us promote within their existing networks. I also want to note that we did distribute an online survey to gather feedback from community members who may not have been able to attend a workshop or an in-person event. The input that we received from all these engagement activities did help us refine the proposed improvements that you see in the plan today. And as part of the public engagement process, we also established a project advisory committee, which included members of the Lemoore Public Works staff and other local representatives. We held these meetings at key milestones of the project development process. During our last project advisory committee meeting, we asked members if they support moving forward with the proposed projects identified within Lemoore. And as shown on the pie chart here, the majority of respondents did support the proposed projects as recommended. The 2025 RATP includes 8 chapters that I've listed on the slide deck. Chapter 7 pertains to Lemoore because it includes a safety and equity analysis. It includes the proposed non-infrastructure programs and the proposed pedestrian and bicycle infrastructure network maps. I've listed the types of infrastructure improvements that I'm going to talk about in the next slides, and those the improvements are also identified in the plan. These include pedestrian priority corridors and priority crossing enhancements. And our bicycle recommendations also included Class 1, Class 2, Class 3, Class 4 bicycle lanes. A total of 19 pedestrian improvement projects were identified in Lemoore. These pedestrian and priority corridors included sidewalk gap closures and crossing enhancements along the major corridors of Hanford-Armona Road, 18th Avenue, Lemoore Avenue, 19th Avenue, Cinnamon Drive, Fox Street, D Street, and Bush Street. And we also identified pedestrian priority corridors along the following streets that include Cedar Lane, Fox Street, Follette Street, and Vine Street. And these are really to help enhance connections through residential neighborhoods. We had 2 crossing enhancements proposed at the intersections of Champion Street and Iona Avenue, as well as on Vine Street and SR 198. And that is intended to close a key north-south gap within the pedestrian network. For the bicycle network, we identified a total of 25 projects with approximately 30 miles of new or upgraded bicycle facilities. We identified Class 1 shared use paths along major corridors, including the Lemoore Canal, Bush Street, 19th Avenue, and the railroad right-of-way between SR 198 and 11th Avenue. We proposed Class 2 bike lanes on Bush Street and D Street, and a buffered Class 2 bike lane on 19th Avenue connecting between Hanford-Armona Road to Iona Avenue. We proposed Class 3 bicycle routes surrounding the areas of downtown. And also Class 4 separated bikeways are proposed along north-south corridors that include 18th Avenue, Lemoore Avenue, Liberty Drive, and Fox Street. And Class 4 separated bikeways are also proposed along east-west corridors, which include Hanford-Armona Road, Cinnamon Drive, and Cedar Lane.
Could I interrupt you for 1 second?
Sure.
On the railroad right-of-way Class 1 trail, it says State Route 198 to 11th Avenue. Is that a typo or?
That should go up to, so that Class 1 trail is actually extends to Armona and reaches all the way, I think, up to 12th Avenue on the eastern edge of Armona.
What portion of that is in Lemoore? That's what I'm trying
The
to.
portion of it should end at, well, actually at the edge of where the Lemoore Canal is located. That's within the city's jurisdiction. Within the city limits, sorry. The right-of-way Class 1 trail extends up to the Lemoore Canal, which is up to the city limits.
So
Okay.
so the bike path's gonna go all the way from Lemoore through Armona to Hanford.
It'll stop at the eastern edge of Armona and connect to a 12th Avenue, which is a buffered Class 2 north-south corridor.
I guess the 11th Avenue is what's confusing me, I think.
Let me take a note of that and see where that's
Hanford.
needs to be updated.
I'll just say it.
Did it maybe mistakenly get put in Lemoore's? Because the canal actually, from the canal forward is the county. The canal west, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
East,
double.
I'm sorry, east.
I'm gonna double check. Love Future to.
So that green, the furthest east green line, I believe is the canal, right?
Correct.
So if it's at the canal, so it would, that is the city county split right there at the canal.
Yes.
So connecting Lemoore all the way to Hanford is essentially what it's doing, correct?
Yes. The regional connector. Yeah.
With the picture, I think I understand it now because
It's getting cut off. We do have
curves.
the other versions of the county maps in their chapters, but yeah, it's a little hard to kind of understand that it connects further to Armona and Hanford.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yes, of course.
One more question, please.
Yeah.
Could you distinguish what's between a Class 1 and a Class 2 proposed bikeway?
Sure. A Class 1 is an off-street trail designed for people to walk and bike without any motor vehicles on that trail. A Class 2 is a bicycle facility that is on a travel lane. And in a buffered Class 2 has enhanced features, so usually bollards or vertical physical barriers that provide an additional protection from the bicycle lane to the travel lane.
I think the committee has done some great work, but my concern about some of the stuff that you're proposing is, I don't know when does a Class 2 become implemented? And for example, I'm going to talk about Iona Avenue. How are you going to make Iona Avenue a Class 2? What are you going to do to renovate that street from 19th to 18th Avenue?
Yeah. So the projects that are identified on the map are here to kind of serve as like a longer vision. Once it comes and once it comes time to seek grant funding and compile the grant application, that's where you can get all the key stakeholders involved to make all those decisions of what kind of impacts they may have to the community, to traffic, and what kind of mitigation measures, if any, need to be addressed. So this, you're asking some great questions that'll kind of be featured in like the next phase of the project when we're talking about designing and implementation. For now, these just serve as sort of what the long-term vision is for the city to ideally one day have these type of bicycle lanes on.
So this is our wish list.
Wish list. Yeah, you can see it that way.
And then we compete with the other cities for the amount of dollars that the state is going to throw at this, right?
Yeah, essentially, yes. And so the planning efforts here are to gather public input, whether this is something that the community really wants to see. And so that's why we did the project prioritization ranking and analysis and documenting what the outreach consisted of and getting input from the project advisory committee, all to really have documented efforts of whether this bike lane is supported by the community.
Okay.
I believe Steve Brandt is your city planner.
Mhm.
He was also present with the PAC meeting and advised that he would like to see, the city would like to see the trail along the city-county corridor, which is that canal for now, as well as the Iona, because it will help address any future applications for grant funding that is already in a regional active transportation plan. So you can bounce off of that and hopefully get awarded.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No worries. I can take more questions if you need. I'm almost done. I was just going to go on to maybe 2 more slides. If you want to go ahead and go to the next slide. The implementation plan. So as part of the implementation plan, we did rank all the projects by impact, feasibility, and alignment with community priorities. And we prepared cost estimates for the top 10 pedestrian and top 10 bicycle projects in Lemoore. And we've identified state and federal funding programs to help move them from concept to construction. So with that, next steps. Some key next steps as identified on this slide include the adoption of the plan by CAG in September, integrating and supporting complete streets policies across the county and the city, and continue to seek funding for the design and construction of the projects. Finally, the last slide provides our contact information, but I'll stop here and also check in and ask if anybody has any other further questions or comments.
Any other questions from council? See none. Any questions or comments from the public? I think that's it.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now we have item 2-2, cannabis ordinance review. Ms. Valdez.
Good evening, council. So what I prepared in the study session was just a summary of each of the project development agreements for each of the cannabis companies that we have on record. What I found with each development agreement is they do match the fee structure that we have currently in place. What has been the biggest problem is the fees were not enforced with each of the companies. So we have significantly received less than what we should have, what we originally budgeted in the beginning for each of these.
Excuse me, right? I want to write those. You said they weren't enforced.
Mhm.
Was there anything in the agreement about the process of enforcing them?
I think it does touch on, each one is different, right? They have varying language between each of them. There is language for enforcing if they default to any of those, that there are ramifications that we can come after them for. So we will work with legal to rectify the situation.
Okay.
Did you have any other
Well, yeah.
questions?
I'm just reading these fees and I guess basically what you're telling us that they didn't live up to the fees.
Correct.
And we did not knock on the door and say, hey, you're not living up to your fees or
So I will state that in the beginning, when we brought on the cannabis companies, finance was not provided details for each of the cannabis companies. We were provided the project development agreements that do not have contact information, phone numbers, emails, any billing information of the
invoice for the
such.
fees
Right.
or whatever.
Anything. In the beginning, I was told that the companies would be working with the previous city manager and that individual would tell finance what we were to be paid.
Good. Yeah, this is good. Thank you. This is very helpful.
I don't
So
know if I was.
we are
it's good.
completing an
Yeah.
audit of each company now.
I was just saying the report is good. Yeah, I appreciate what you've done here. That's good.
The other difficulty with this has been the terms of the development agreements, being that most of it is based off of gross receipts for each of the companies. If they don't report that to us, I don't have a way to invoice them at all. I have to have a starting point to be able to give them an estimation.
But they file a tax return.
They do. That is,
That would be a place to start if I were looking for money.
yes. And we've come to that realization. So we will work with our HDL as our sales tax representative. So we will be working with them to see what we can get.
How do they report to the state?
That I don't know.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but we will find out.
Is there any type of way to go back and check to make sure that what we should have received? And is there a mechanism that we could, if not, we can rectify that?
We will be working on that. There with one of the companies, I have found information just this week that I can go back and backbill them for what we know that they should have paid for cultivation fees. But others, like People's Development Agreement solely based off gross receipts, I will have to work with HDL or even the State Department to figure out what those are. And then we will seek.
And that's even if they show a profit on their tax return, right?
Mm-mm. It's gross receipt. It's not about their deductions.
Well,
I think
so
them.
what I would like to know is because we had these super inflated projected numbers, right?
Mhm.
Because that's what the council was sold and everything else. It's going to bring in $1 million. It's going to fix the city and all that stuff.
And I will say, there were two companies that never got off,
Never even got.
not ever, yeah.
And so the fee schedule, their contracts are to follow the fee schedule. We just haven't been collecting on it.
Correct.
So in your opinion, would that kick up the revenues?
It should, but
It-
to what degree, I don't
don't
know. Mm-hmm.
Give me a second here. I'm thinking still.
Mm-hmm.
So based off your knowledge, the prior city manager was the one that was supposed to direct finance on what to charge and all of that.
He would inform finance what we were receiving, not what to charge.
So
Who
would,
received it?
or who would
So
build?
The funds come in as a check straight to finance. But there's
Okay.
no supporting documentation to say what their total gross receipts were for it. For People's Farming, they pay a biomass fee of 2%. We received a check for a specific dollar amount, but no backup to say how much, so we could verify that what they're reporting to us was accurate.
Now, are they following their development agreement by just giving us that check?
No.
That's hard to say without seeing the
Because it's
gross
so-
receipts
because it's
full to
a-
make sure that they're paying us what they should be. So we are devising forms specific to each cannabis company's project development agreement now that they will be required to submit going forward, so we can correct this for future.
And
I'm
that's
actually
with,
speechless right now.
and that's with the three that are in the project or the agenda packet, right? The three
Say that again?
companies?
And
There's
we
three
have-
companies in the agenda packet or two?
There's more than that.
There's more?
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 currently.
Three in play. That's where I'm getting at. Sorry.
There's 4 in play, technically.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, just for the, I'm sure this is the first time, when you're developing this report, you've seen this, how this stuff has come in. But for the audience, this is the first time we're seeing this too, in terms of these development agreements. And it's a real revelation.
There are 2 companies that report their gross receipts each month, and they pay as expected. Our 2 dispensaries they are meeting their project development agreement. Outside of that, they are not.
Right.
I think just in my opinion, what has made this process difficult is, and I know I've said this before, but we had cannabis in the city that I previously came from, but we didn't do development agreements. We did a ordinance that outlined
Oh.
all cannabis operations, and then we took a tax to the voters. And everything that was non-retail was based on a square footage tax. So when we received plans, we calculated what the tax would be. And they paid quarterly payments. So finance knew if this is 1,000 square feet, this is how much we're billing them. And we invoiced them quarterly based on their operation. The police department would go out and take measurements and do inspections and make sure that they weren't operating more than what they were supposed to. And then we would invoice them and collect it. So we knew exactly what they were paying us. On the retail side, they would send over reports and it was based on their gross receipts. But here that hasn't happened because we didn't have finance involved from the inception of cannabis. And the development agreements, as you read them, are hard for finance to figure out what that dollar amount is, like 3% of biomass. So how do they know how much biomass they produced without the company reporting it to them? And they weren't getting backup documentation. It was just, here's a check for $100,000 and this covers their biomass and cultivation and license fee or whatever it was. There was no backup documentation. And so we're working through processes to try to invoice the organizations and draft forms that they will submit along with their payments to provide the backup documentation to justify what that payment covers.
I have another quick question, and if this is off topic, please tell me and I'll move it to somewhere else. But in the beginning, I remember that cannabis was a cash only business.
Mhm.
What were the checks and balances when it was a cash only business? Do you happen to know that? Probably not, but I'm asking it.
Checks and balances as far as when they bring in deposits, we have 2 people that, along with a cannabis representative, count the cash but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
They're coming in, telling us this is what it's for. Here's my payment. We are counting it and depositing it.
Who were those 2 people?
Depends on who collected it. So a staff member at the counter and the cannabis company at the time. If it was a large sum, we did have, I think it was NHC was required to pay a $200,000 one-time fee for the possible removal or not removal, moving the skate park. And they came and paid that in cash. So myself and Linda Beiersdorf, the finance manager at the time, along with Nathan and the cannabis rep, 2 of their reps, counted the cash there and then deposited it. So whoever took in the funds at that time and the cannabis rep. It wasn't for a very long period of time that they were doing cash. It quickly changed over to checks.
Just want you to know my frustration is not with you. If it comes across that way, just know that it's
No,
not.
you do a good job. Appreciate it. One
Thank you.
question on the one that's on the screen right now is Wellsona Partners.
Mm-hmm. Also known as Base Camp.
Pardon me?
Also known as Base Camp.
And on the, let's see, on the seventh bullet, it says every 3 years, parties will renegotiate in good faith. And then at the last part of that sentence, it says, and therefore a consistent and reliable source of funds for the city to be approved by the city council.
Mm-hmm.
Have we done that?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, there's two
Not
of us.
since I've been here.
There are several of them that state that. Valley Pure also states that.
Yeah,
I also noticed, and I don't know if the council previously that approved these documents noticed that there were excerpts in there that said if the citizens of Lemoore did vote a cannabis tax, that they would basically all be exempt from it. So it'd
Mhm.
be
That they would continue with the revenue
useless
raising
to,
fee. Yeah.
yeah, to do
Mhm.
that anyway. It's just interesting. All of the provisions given to cannabis, but not the city. Sorry, anybody have any other
Yeah.
questions thus far? I don't know if you were finished or not, but
Mhm.
no, just
if you have more, go ahead.
No,
That was it?
yeah.
Anything else from council?
well,
I'll-
just one, do you have any recommendations you would make to the city manager for us to, we were gonna redo these things again?
I think we're very limited because they're already in effect, so our ability to change them is limited at this point.
Is there any questions or comments from the public? Mr. Reed?
Tom Reed, Par Avenue, Lemoore. Is it possible, or are we going to try to collect some back fees that we should have collected that we didn't?
It sounded like that would be the case if that was,
That's why Christine's here.
yeah.
Yes, we will. We will be seeking legal action.
Any other questions or comments from the public? Anyone online, Marissa? Yeah. Thank you for that. We'll go ahead and move on to public comment. Public comment will be in accordance with the attached policy. This time is reserved for members of the audience to address the city council on items of interest that are not on the agenda and are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the council. It is recommended that speakers limit their comments to 3 minutes each, and it is requested that no comments be made during this period on items on the agenda. The council is prohibited by law from taking any action on matters discussed that are not on the agenda. Prior to addressing the council, any handouts for council will be provided to the city clerk for distribution to the council and appropriate staff. The public will have an opportunity to comment on items on the agenda once the item has been called and the mayor opens the item to the public. Is there any public comment at this time? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to department and city manager reports.
Thank you. I wanted to let everybody know that Gotti's Kitchen will be locating in the rec center kitchen starting on Monday of next week. And so if you like their food, please support them. They will be paying a percentage of their sales to the city for rent. And so please support them and visit the rec center. And then Steve has something that he would like to state. And then after him, the chief has an announcement.
Good evening, council. Steve Brandt, city planner. Just two quick things. Earlier tonight, you heard about the regional active transportation plan. Just wanted to add that the main reason we're participating in this is because it makes us eligible for funding. And last year, there was no funding in the state budget because of the state's finances. This year, they have indicated that there will be funding. So moving forward, we're hoping that there'll be opportunities to implement portions of that plan. The other thing I'll add is just information. You're probably aware that the tract 848 out by the college One of their mitigation measures for Lennar Homes was to build what we're calling three temporary roundabouts at the interchange. I talked to a representative from Lennar today, and he said they are planning to go out to bid for that next week. So that's good progress.
How long is that process? Do you know? I know we're not in control of it, but roughly.
I don't know. I haven't been that involved in the construction. It'll take a little while to build it. So there might be some construction congestion there for a while, but once it's complete, it'll all three intersections will work a lot better.
Are they still gonna maintain the 2 lanes on both sides of the streets in those roundabouts?
During construction
Well,
or
construction, I mean, what are they proposing? Go down to a single lane roundabout, or is it gonna be double lane so we can get?
it will be, it's kind of in between because it's a single lane roundabout, but the right turn will have its own lane often. So
Yeah, but
it's kind of a
I mean,
mix.
you're just gonna create a traffic. I mean, does anybody go out there in the mornings and the afternoons and see what the traffic's like? And it's gonna be a single lane then.
Well,
We-
the reason why it's taken so long to get to this point is that Caltrans got involved. And so they are telling us that this is going to work because they made some changes to the design. So
Okay.
Bush and Bellhaven.
Bush and Bellhaven, and then the 2 on and off ramps in both directions. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The second phase of our flock cameras are almost completely installed. I believe there's 2 left that'll be going out this week. One of the new cameras has already played a major role in helping detectives develop leads into a shooting that occurred 2 weeks ago. So that was good. Last council meeting, I talked about Cars with Cops. The car show date has been set, and it'll be taking place on October 4th in downtown. There's a flyer going around. There's a flyer with the QR code if you want to be a vendor or if you want to participate. You can register that way or just come down to the police department. And then last, our explorers will be heading to the San Luis Obispo Central Coast Explorer Competition. This is the first time in about 4 years we've had kind of a regular group in there that have been training for it. So we're looking forward to that. That's it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Chief, I got a question about the flock cameras.
Absolutely.
Has there been any kind of, I don't know, vandalism on those cameras in any way, shape, or form?
Well, not yet, but thanks.
Well, no, it's just because
No.
I was reading that people are noticing them and they're saying, "Oh, red light cameras over here," and
Yeah,
I read a bunch of crazy stuff, and I was just like, "Oh my God."
There's a big misconception, I mean, when I took it before you initially, I understand people think that it's like a red light camera or it's actually taking video or it's capturing people's faces and issuing out citations for expired registration. That's legitimately not the case. The only thing it's capable of doing is taking a picture of the front license plate. It puts that vehicle in that area. Detectives, either have to develop leads off that, or mainly the stolen vehicles that are coming in and out of town. It doesn't tell us where those vehicles are, it just says it's in that area. It's still our job to go out there and track it down and find it somewhere in the city.
So it would benefit nobody to vandalize these things. That's just what I'm getting
No,
at. Yeah.
and in the contract, Flock just have to replace it, so.
That's why the chairs were broke.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now we'll go on to consent calendar. Consent calendar items are routine in nature and placed on the consent calendar. They will all be considered and voted upon in one vote as one item unless a council member or member of the public requests individual consideration. 4-1, approval minutes, regular/special meeting, August 5th, 2025. 4-2, information only, quarterly review of transient occupancy tax, TOT, collected Q4 fiscal year 2025. 4-3, information only, police department update, July 2025. 4-4, information only, fire department update, June and July 2025. 4-5, approval issuance of a 120-day notice of termination from Public Agency Coalition Enterprises, Joint Powers Association. 4-6, approval, notice of completion, road maintenance project. 4-7, approval, addition of special terms and conditions on the master user fee schedule. 4-8, information only, building division update, July 2025. 4-9, approval memorandum of understanding between the City of Lemoore and Lemoore Police Officers Association. 4-4, approval memorandum of understanding between the City of Lemoore and Lemoore Sergeants Bargaining Unit. 4-11, approval revised position allocation and salary schedule. 4-12, information only, summary of grant activity and outcomes from Townsend Public Affairs. 4-13, approval appointment of Parks and Recreation Commissioner. 4-14, approval consulting services agreement between the City of Lemoore and Retail Strategies LLC. 4-15, approval request for release of remaining SB 178 funds for fire training facility. 4-16, thank you. Agreement for financial consulting services with Price Page and Company for fiscal year 2025 through 2026. 4-7, approval commercial lease agreement between the City of Lemoore and Jason Glaspie, DBA Lemoore Boxing Club. Would anyone from council like to pull any of those items?
I'd like to take a look at 4.2 and 4.16.
4-2 and 4-6. Oh, 1-6.
4.16.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, can we pull 4-5? And then for Stewart, 4-15.
Anything else?
That's it.
Do you have some that you'd like to pull?
Yes, I would just like to pull 4-11 because if 4-9 and 4-10 are approved, I just need to state something on the record to clarify 4-11.
Okay. And is there anyone from the public that would like to pull any of these items? All right, so I'll entertain a motion to approve 4-1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, and 17.
Motion.
We have a motion by Councilmember Lyons,
I'll second.
a second by Councilmember Brewster. Councilmember Lyons,
Yes.
Councilmember Brewster,
Yes.
Councilmember Cruz,
Yes.
Councilmember Gornick,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. Passes 5 in favor. 4-2. Who pulled that one? Dr. Gornick? She pulled that one.
Poor Charles.
Got a little bit more money. So were these were, that's it. We just have 3 of them, huh? In this transient occupancy tax.
Correct. We just have 3 hotels currently.
Okay. And this transient occupancy tax is included with our sales tax revenue when we, or how do we identify?
No,
this?
it's reported directly from each hotel.
Okay. Okay.
What's our tax rate on this?
8%, and to my knowledge, it has never been increased since inception.
What's like the standard tax rate?
Every city is different.
Isn't?
Mhm.
Hanford is looking to raise theirs to 12,
Yeah.
which is, I believe, about average.
Is this about the same, in terms of how we compared from last year?
Yes, it's pretty consistent
Is it?
year over year. Mhm.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Any other questions or comments from council? Any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve 4-2,
So move.
or it's information only, we don't have to approve it, right? Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Just kidding. 4-5. What was your question, sir?
Can you pull up the agenda item, please? So can you kind of just go over this real quick for layman terms for me, please?
Yes. So the city of Lemoore is a member of a joint powers authority with a health insurance group that is administered by Keenan and Associates called PACE. And so this PACE JPA consists of cities and cities in the area to have a joint powers authority to provide health insurance benefits to employees. So they're medical insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance, and life insurance. JPAs for health insurance have pros and cons about them. Some of the cons, if you can scroll down a little bit, and reasons why I'm recommending getting out of them. So the PACE program runs on a calendar year, not a fiscal year. So when we're working on our budget each year, we have no idea what our cost increase is going to be. So when we look at the historical cost increase over the last, I think it was 7 years that they provided data for, we averaged 8.5%, which is higher than what I am familiar with. So I looked at 3 comparable employers, and one over that same time period averaged 3.4%, another was 6.8, and the other was 6.2. So our averages are slightly higher. But the primary downside is that we don't get to negotiate our rates, and we also don't get to negotiate the broker commission. It's set, and they provide like a menu of plans for you to pick from, and that's really it. You get to pick from the plans. There's a board that serves the JPA, and so there's usually like one employee representative from each city that votes, and so we don't control our own rates and what plans we offer. And so getting out of the JPA allows us to have more control of the cost of our health insurance plans and the level of benefits that we offer, as well as the broker's commission.
Is there a penalty for us with withdrawing?
So we entered into a contract that wasn't beneficial for the city as far as a lot of the language in it. We would have to notify them because our plan renews January 1st, and the language in the agreement states that in order to not pay penalties, we have to notify them however many days in advance, which equates to August 31st, which is why this item's on the agenda. And so there should not be a penalty for terminating. There is a non-monetary penalty. So if you get out, you can't rejoin for a period of time. And anytime that you get out, it's a gamble. I mean, are our rates going to be higher, or are they going to be lower? And I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't say for certain. I would just say that I believe that they will be lower. And it gives us more cost control, because what generally will happen is, say we received, like we were contracting with Blue Shield as an example, and they gave us a 5% rate increase for renewal. And we said, okay, well, we want to keep that same plan with that same provider, but we want to make modifications to the plan to not have a 5% increase. And we would be able to say, well, we are willing to pay $5 more for prescription copays. And so what does that look like when we slightly tweak the plan? And it may not be a 5% increase, it may end up being a 4% increase. And so it just gives us that flexibility to get out, and we don't have that flexibility now.
Yeah. And it gives us an opportunity to start shopping now.
And it also gives us an ability to realign with our fiscal year. So when we get out of the PACE program, if we do, I would be searching for either a 6-month rate or an 18-month rate. So then when it resets, it aligns with our fiscal year. Because what typically will happen is when you have a July 1 renewal, you'll get your health insurance rates usually within like the first 2 weeks of April. And by the end of April, your negotiation with the carrier would be done, and you would know what those rates are to build your budget. And right now we don't have that opportunity.
Any other questions or comments from council? Any questions or comments from the public on this item? I'll bring it back to council to entertain a motion.
So move, Mayor.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Brewster and a second by Councilmember Gornick. Councilmember Brewster,
Yes.
Councilmember Lyons,
Yes.
Councilmember Cruz,
Yes.
and Councilmember Gornick.
Right.
And I vote yes as well. Passes 5 in favor. Now we have item 4-11.
Thank you. So for 411, you have a hard copy of a revised pay scale in front of you. And I just want to point out, since 4-9 and 4-10 passed, that on this revised version of the position allocation and salary schedule, that the salary schedule effective date would be September 1st, 2025. And it includes the following changes. The police officer has been reassigned to range 87. The corporal has been reassigned to range 94, and the sergeant has been reassigned to range 108.
Any questions for council? Questions or comments from council?
Is there a master salary schedule that like shows all the ranges?
Yes.
Is there? Okay. That's all I ask.
Any questions or comments from the public on this item? Seeing none, I'll bring it back in and entertain a motion.
Motion.
I have a
Second.
motion by Councilmember Lyons and a second by Councilmember Brewster. Councilmember Lyons,
Aye.
Councilmember Brewster,
Yes.
Councilmember Cruz,
Yes.
Councilmember Gornick,
All right.
and I vote yes as well. Passes 5 in favor. 4-15.
What's your question, Stuart?
Did you have a specific question or?
Well, I mean, my main goal is to get Junior up at the podium.
Oh,
Thank you. Good
accomplished.
afternoon, council members. Thank you very much for having me. Mr. Lyons, do you have a question for me?
Yeah, where is this training site gonna be located at?
Right now, the tentative site is the city of Lemoore corporate yard.
And just out of curiosity, are you guys gonna be able to like conduct trainings for other entities,
Trainings for other who?
other fire departments?
I
Like,
don't
are you
see
guys
why,
gonna,
I
are
don't
you
see
gonna
why
be
we
able?
couldn't invite another fire department over to train with them. Like Kings County, for example.
Yeah,
I don't see anything wrong with that. And the association doesn't have anything wrong with that at this particular point.
I didn't know if you guys were gonna like thinking about running classes or something like that. And generating some kind of revenue or something.
Well, we haven't put too much thought into that, because you gotta have your certified teachers. We have insurance over the facility, the association does. But as far as teachers to go who are certified to hand out a certificate, we haven't ventured down that road yet. I think right now, we're more focused on just trying to get it built efficiently, cost effectively, and really in a timely manner so we can use it. Because the other thing that you're familiar with is that this will also affect our ISO.
Yes,
And so we want to get it built so we can add it to our.
added
ISO.
to our ISO.
What's ISO?
Insurance, safety, faith, am I close?
It's a rating that
Is it for house
it's
insurance?
provided
Yeah,
the
it's
city-
for house
city's
insurance.
For
Homeowner
how
insurance.
well your fire department is staffed and the apparatuses we have, it's all based on a point schedule. The apparatuses we have,
The water
training,
pressure.
yeah, the water,
the
all the
firefighter functioning,
hydrants, the
The
pressure.
lower the ISO rating, the less our
Homeowners.
homeowner
insurance.
insurance is.
Correct.
And we
And
have.
this is
to-
gonna be for this, the training center gives us the best bang for our buck as far as ISO points go. We've been very fortunate. The city has constantly taken care of the fire department, which we're thankful for. We have some of the best equipment and we're running out of places to grab ISO points. And this is something that we hadn't done. So not only is it gonna accomplish that, but it'll help us with training as well.
Thanks, Junior.
Any other questions or comments from the council? Any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none,
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Lyons and a second by Councilmember Brewster. Councilmember Lyons,
Yes.
Councilmember Brewster.
Yes.
Councilmember Cruz,
Yes.
Councilmember Gornick,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. Passes 5 in favor.
I mean, my main thing was to get Junior up here. I thought Faith was gonna come too.
416.
Yeah, I asked for this item.
Hello again, Jocelyn.
No, not picking on you again tonight. The,
Okay, I'm getting used to it.
well, you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Hey, Junior, hang out for 1 minute, please.
One of the things that, in reading the document, there was I understood all the consulting requests we're gonna ask of them, but one of the things I know we're still working on is the integration of our software program and our budgeting stuff. And even the last item, there was a reference to our lengthy purchasing guidelines from the city, and I know some of that we're still carrying paper. And are they gonna be able to help us any, or are we still bound by the agreement we have with the?
Not as far as the internal procedures. They give oversight to help determine like separation of duties to make sure that we're doing things according to GAP guidelines. But as far as like creating efficiencies in workflow and such, that would be our responsibility to do.
Okay, but I mean, looked like there was some ambiguity in the agreement that if we could, if they had a better approach or a workaround or whatever with our software, I don't know, but I just curious to that. Just want to make sure we get the most efficiency we can out of that arrangement. So that's all. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from council? Any questions or comments from the public? See none, I'll bring it back to council to entertain a motion.
So move.
I have a motion by Councilmember Gornick. Second by Councilmember Brewster. Councilmember Gornick.
All right.
Councilmember Brewster.
Yes.
Councilmember Cruz.
Yes.
And I vote no. I do want to say thank you I did notice that it was like about 50,000 less than it has been the year before, but still a no vote for me. Thank you. So that passes 3 in favor, 1 no, and 1 absent. We'll go ahead and move on to public hearings. 5-1, public hearing, abatement of public nuisances. Mr. Benavides.
Good evening again. This is coming back an item that was brought to you first originally on August 5th for a nuisance complaint. Staff went out and verified that the nuisance still exists, and we're looking to move forward with the abatement as was described previously. Any questions, comments?
I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing real quick. Any questions or comments from council?
Well, was this in relation to the discussion we had last time on the
The weed abatement?
weed abatement? Okay.
Yep, there were 5 properties.
There.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Okay,
Yep, there you go.
no problem.
No questions or comments from council? Any questions or comments from the public? Okay, I'll go ahead and close public comment and bring it back to council. I lost my place in my agenda. I apologize. There you go. I'll entertain a motion to proceed with weed abatement measures as outlined in ordinance 4-2-2 through 4-2-14 and resolution 2025-30 adopted August 5th, 2025.
So move.
I have a motion by Councilmember Gornick,
Second.
second by Councilmember Brewster. Councilmember Gornick,
Aye.
Councilmember Brewster,
Yes.
Councilmember Cruz,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. Passes 4-0.
401.
4-0-1. Thank you. 1 abstention. 1 absence. Sorry. And we'll go ahead and move on to city council reports and requests. Councilmember Brewster.
Thank you, Mayor. Hold on here. Let me get my. Miss Jocelyn, thank you for the reports and digging deep into some of that stuff. A lot of, how can I say this? When you see a lot of stuff like that, when you're not a part of government, you lose faith in government. And one thing I think this council, the city manager, is trying to restore some faith in our local government and decision making and all that. So I appreciate all the hard work digging into that. I know that's not easy. You're digging through emails, paperwork, trying to piece together this puzzle that just doesn't seem like it's ever going to end. But with that being said, over the weekend, I had the pleasure of attending the Summer Bash. I got pied like 6 times in the face, 4 maybe, I don't know. But that was a grand old time. Parks and Rec did a good job. I went out and solicited and bought tickets myself and handed them out to people so they could pie the mayor. It's for the kids. So, and then lastly, after seeing this, I don't know if I need consensus or just me saying this, but I would like to give the city manager some direction on having the staff dig into some of these emails and all that kind of stuff to see if there's any type of agreements that were made with people, anything that has to do with some of these contracts. I think we need to start digging into some of this and figure out why stuff wasn't being enforced and why we're sitting here having to clean up this mess. And it's on us.
I would suggest asking for consensus.
Do I have consensus?
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why we asked to delve into it. And let's keep going, with respect to.
Looks like unanimous consensus.
So since we're there, I mean, we might as well just keep going and let's figure it out. Let's make it right. Fair is fair and be transparent with the community that put us up here. So
And
with that,
I would include in that consensus that have our attorney review some of those documents as well in terms of if we erred in any way.
Yeah.
Good.
but with that, Mayor, I am good.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Lyons?
Yeah, I spoke with Bobby Wharton from the Commission on Aging and everything is running smooth over there. I wanted to congratulate Goose. What was Goose's name?
Goose?
I just wanted to congratulate Goose on being the city employee of the month. That's all I have for now.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Cruz?
Yep. Mayor, I also want to commend Mrs. Valdez on basically performing those audits. Had it been otherwise, would have missed out on those opportunities and create a much bigger problem in the future. So thank you for that. I also commend our city manager, Mrs. Trejo, for reorganizing the way that we negotiate our contracts with our staff. I know putting them all together in one season per se can be a challenge. So the way that you restructure that is very impressive. So thank you. And I believe PD also gained 1 officer. Am I correct? So congratulations. And yeah, I just want to continue thanking the Lemoore staff as well as our safety, including PD, as well as our volunteer firefighters. Thank you so much for your hard work.
Councilmember Gornick?
Yeah, I would like to just second everything my colleague said. I think under the direction of our city manager, our employees are doing a great job and representing the city very well. I had an opportunity along with the mayor to attend what do you call it? Kind of an open house for the Starbucks. They
Oh,
had
yeah.
Veterans
Military
Military Appreciation Day.
dedication. Yeah.
And it was a very nice event. Learned a lot about, they hire a lot of spouses there and or kids of people who are in the service. And they had some decorations on the wall and got to learn a little bit about the new Starbucks that's opening up. And it's going to be a monster. It's a big one. Yeah, it looks like. Anyway, it was a good day, good event, and good people. They were happy to be involved in Lemoore and happy to be participating in it. So look forward to it. That's it.
Okay. Again, I also attended that Starbucks military dedication. They had a lot of people, big people from Starbucks there. It was kind of crazy the number of people they had there for that dedication, but it was awesome to see and get to talk to them and all of that. Great for the community, gave away free coffee and pastries and all of that. So very happy to be a part of that. And we also gave them a certificate as well, memorializing that. I also attended this week the KCAO, Kings Community Action Organization history exhibit. If you haven't had an opportunity to check that out, they do it every year. They always bring out new articles, photos, different things from the vault. It's not really a vault, but wherever they store that type of documentation. It's really cool to see, like, from the inception of the Hanford or Kings County KCAO, all the different things that have happened in their history. It's pretty cool to see, even if you're not on the KCAO board. It's just awesome. You'll see people in the pictures that you see in the community. So it's kind of cool. There was actually a lady that was there that was there for services and happened to tour the exhibit, and then she noticed pictures of her parents on there. That was, like, I believe it was like the first self-help housing, whatever the help was for getting your home, first time home. Her parents were on there, so that was kind of cool. She took a picture and shared it with her parents. So you just never know what you're going to see when you go in there. Let's see. Lemoore Lions Brew Fest will be this weekend, this Saturday, actually. I also attended the Summer Bash. It was warm that day, but a good event. Everyone that came up and talked to me had a great time, enjoyed the event immensely, said they can't wait to come back next year. Yeah, Councilmember Brewster did purchase some tickets to pie me in the face and wanted to keep his hands clean is what he did. But that's all right. I got him too. I actually threw my pies though.
Yeah,
Kind of.
it's for the kids.
Yeah, for the kids. So that was a great event. Also, we talked about the TOT tax today, and I wanted to maybe get consensus from council, not anything super, like, not next meeting, not the next meeting, like nothing pressing, because the next election isn't until November 2026. But if council may want to look at what that process would look like for us, if we may want to increase the TOT tax, because that tax is not a tax on our residents per se. It's a tax on those that are coming in and visiting. So I don't know if I would have consensus to look at that in the future before the next election. Any head nods? Yeah. Thank you. I also attended last week the South San Joaquin Valley Division membership meeting. We did vote, all the executive board members were sworn in. So I moved from the Kings County rep to the second vice president, making way for another Kings County representative on the Cal Cities board, which is now Councilwoman Howes from Hanford. So it's good that we have two people on that board to represent. So if we can get three on there somehow next election, maybe we can do that. I don't think we can do that, but who knows? It's worth a try. I also want to wish a happy 6-year anniversary to our very own Christina with her firm, Griswold LaSalle. So congratulations. That's pretty awesome. It sounds like they're going to keep you.
We'll see.
Yeah. And with that, I think that's all I have.
Sorry, do you want to remind everyone, we don't have the next city council meeting, September 2nd will not be held. So the next city council meeting after this one is September 16th.
Thank you for that reminder. Yes, because yeah, it is on the agenda, but just so we mention it, just in case anybody didn't read that part. Now we'll go ahead and adjourn back into closed session for item 1, finishing up item 1 and item 2. So with that, thank you all for coming.